So this video is about, as you saw the title, God don't play fair. That's right. You heard it was your ears are not playing tricks on you. I'm gonna say it again. God don't play fair. Before I explain, I'm gonna tell you why and what motivated me to make this video. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, especially in the United States of America. Under this current administration, there's a lot going on, even in our personal lives, with the decisions that we make in our own lives to make matters even worse. So you got a lot of people struggling. The it's like prices go up, everything go up, but our paychecks. So we dealing with that, and then you got people dealing with depression. There's a lot of stuff going on, and sometimes the weight of the world seems like it get us way down. And I was just doing some thinking, some meditating, and just contemplating on everything that's going on. And when I take a closer look, I come to realize that God don't play fair. And you ask, Mark B, why does God not, why do you say that? Because God do play fair. Okay, I'm glad you asked. The reason why I say he don't play fair because he put everything in order, everything in place that you and I need to succeed. Not only you or I, any human being. The Most High God put everything in place that you and I need to be successful. But the problem or the issue is sometimes, right? We don't have the ears to hear and we don't have the eyes to see all that he's doing in our lives because you got the enemy putting in front of our face, right? The hardships, the difficulties, things that's not going well. So that's the problem. We're looking at the wrong thing. We're focusing on the problem and not the solution. And that's not how he wants us to be, right? Because he has the answer to all of our problems. Now, let me, explain, and then I'm going to even give some examples, right? Because I've been in some very dangerous situations. I've been made some bad decisions, even decisions that, led me to prison. So I've been in some very difficult situations, right? But as I look back, God didn't play fair because he had things, right? Answers for me for everything, right? When people counted me out, he got something for you. But as I said, when I spoke about we got to have the ears to hear and the eyes to see, God in most cases speak in these small, still voices. And a lot of times his voice is overshadowed by the noise, the loudness, right? The chaos, the phone calls from bill collectors, right? The mail that's saying this. I'm gonna give this example. I remember, while I was in jail, and I wrote the judge a letter, right? Because I started doing some positive stuff, taking programs. So I decided to write the judge a letter. In the letter, I told him all the good stuff I did. I'm a changed man. Please let me out because I had a lot of time. 27 years to be exact is what I had. And I wrote the letter. I felt so good, sent off the letter. And when I got the letter back, it was like the weight of the world. It was the worst because the judge's response was, I'm glad to hear that you're doing all this positive stuff, but we cannot change your sentence, or he was not going to change my sentence. And that was a blow. If I would have let that be the determining factor and continued to look at that, I would have never got out with my right state of mind. But guess what? I continue to be motivated, continue to be positive. And let me explain when I say he don't play fair, man. The cards are set out for us for everything, right? He said you have not because you ask not. We got to get to the point where we're asking, right? And he gonna set it out for us. So as the difficulty and the chaos and you're in the valley of the shadow of death, let me explain first. This is not no religious video. I'm not even religious, but this is spiritual, man. And I felt it deep in my heart to make this video in hopes that it will help somebody out. So in life, we're going through this and we need answers. Why God? Why me? And all that good stuff. and he's steady talking in these small, still voices, and he's guiding. And another thing I remember, like in my darkest times, something would always come through that would give hope. So it's gonna be them times you may get a phone call from somebody, you may get an encouraging word from a stranger, because he doesn't just use friends, he use or family. He also use strangers. He can use anything. But we got to get to the point where we're in tune with his voice and we're able to hear his voice and allow him to guide us. And that's when we, able to build up our trust and all that. So we got to get to the point, man, where we trust the Most High, because on a daily basis, the enemy is going to put the negative. And I'm not going to sit here and say ignore the negative, because that's not what we're supposed to do, because you may have a calling to assist in addressing some of that, the negativity. So don't ignore the negative that's going on around you, but at the same time, don't let the negative consume you, right? Continue to have hope, continue to look above. Like if you're in a pool, you ever been in a pool and you go under, you got to come back up and breathe. So it's like when you go under, that's the negativity trying to consume you. In that analogy, being in a swimming pool. I don't know how many people ever been in a swimming pool, but if you go under, right, you need to come back up for air. And that's what it is with the Most High. And He's going to have everything to happen. But all He asks for us to do is to do our part, right? And once we do our little part, man, we're going to chip away at the negative, and the enemy going to be over there looking. Man, I thought I had him. Same thing like the example with Job. Job went through all this. He lost this, even lost family members, but he continued to keep his mind and heart on the Most High. And then, they said he was restored all that he lost and got even more. So we got to get to the point, man. Clean them ears out of the mess, of the negativity, right? Clear your eyes out. Be careful what you're focusing on. And think about the Most High and the direction that He wants us to be in, man. I'm hoping that this message here reaches somebody, because some of us need just more than a Sunday service, right? A religious service. As I said, this is not religious, by far it's not, but it is spiritual. I believe it's coming from the Most High, and the Most High can use anybody. In the scripture, they said the Most High used a donkey. The man was going off to a war he ain't had no business going to, and his donkey hit him against the wall, trying to give him a warning. Really, that was God warning him, don't go there. But he wouldn't listen. He kept going again. Donkey slammed him against the wall, and it probably happened 2 or 3 times, right? And then the man got so mad at the donkey, he beat the donkey. And guess what? Through the Most High God, right? The donkey spoke to him, said, man, I'm doing this because I tried to save you. I've been riding with you for blah, blah, and gave the whole spiel, right? And then his eyes were open, and he was able to see that it was an angel of death. He was going to lose his life if he would have went there. So a lot of times, man, be open. We as human beings do not have all the answers. And that's how we get caught up, because in our minds, we think we got the answers, but the answers lie in the Most High. So as I said before, pay attention to what goes on around you, the negative, the good, the bad, the ugly, but don't be consumed by it. Remember that. So He gonna have all these, different signs and different stuff that He's doing for your benefit. I hear a lot of people say all things work together for the good of those that love God. Yeah, things work good for those who are obedient and able to follow His lead, because His lead is so subtle, man. And the noise is all around. We can get caught up in the noise. He's saying go straight. The noise saying turn, turn, turn. So be careful with it, man. I just want to shout out the Most High. I'm very thankful for my life, my opportunity. I could have been gone plenty of times. I would get into these stories about the mistakes that I made and how He spared my life. I want to thank y'all, man, for watching. But remember, man, God don't play fair. He don't play about His people, man. He gonna give you clear guidance, right? The guidance he give you, you're going to be protected all the way through. And if your time do come in the midst of that, then it was your time, right? In a good way. It was naturally your time and you fulfilled your mission, your purpose, and all that. So let's continue to try to listen to the Most High. Don't listen to the noise. Because when I was a teenager, I got a lot of time, but I did get out and I ended up going back and I got a mega time. That's when I had 20 something years. And the noise was saying he's done. But little did I know I wasn't done. The Most High had more and bigger plans for me. I'm going to make some more videos, man, but I hope that this kind of touched the surface on encouraging y'all to understand that we have to trust the Most High, man. We got to trust the Most High, right? And believe you me, things will get better. But he wants you to work through it, right? Because in working through it, that's how you get stronger. Experience is the best teacher. And God is right there guiding us and directing us into the right way. If you have not done it already, man, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Especially if you found value in this video, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. Thank y'all once again. Thank y'all. Y'all be safe out there. Remember, don't allow the noise to consume you. Do not allow the noise to consume you. But yes, you should pay attention to all that's going on around you, but don't allow the noise to consume you. Until next time, man, y'all be safe. Peace.